All right, guys, welcome to another episode of 5 Minutes with Mike. I'm your host, Michael Beckford. And recently, guys, I've been watching some content on a number of different YouTube channels. One is Ant CEO, talking about the modern day women, and also the Saint, talking about, subjects of this particular discussion. And I just thought that I put my, particular perspective on today's topic, which is some women want a high value man, while unfortunately their value has cratered. We'll talk about this on the other side. This is 5 Minutes with Mike. Our news, our voice, our issues. Believe that.
How expensive is your wife?
She's like 50 racks a month, man.
For real?
On a 7-11 salary, I can't cut it. Yeah.
50K a month?
Yeah.
What costs 50K a month?
She likes to get a bag every month. She has a Bentley that she likes to enjoy. That's expensive. And then she has her treatments, like there's Botox, there's filler, there's skin boosters. There's her peptide stack. There's her diet. There's all the clothing she likes to do online. Every day she has packages morning, afternoon, and night that arrive 7 days a week. That's it, man.
Marquettism is for the kids. Marquettism saves lives.
How expensive is your wife?
She's like 50 racks a month, man.
For real?
On a 7-11 salary, I can't cut it. Yeah.
50K a month?
Yeah.
What cost?
All right, guys, this is quite a topic because, we all remember the Kevin Samuel. Unfortunately, he passed a couple years ago, but Kevin Samuel talked about this subject in unlimited spaces, like always talked about it, right? In regards to high value men, high value women, all these things, low women, this, that, and the third. And from my perspective, it's there's a lot of nuance to this thing. You know what I'm saying? I am raising a daughter. My daughter's 10 years old right now, soon to be 11 this coming year. And as her father, the type of man that I would want her to have, I wouldn't say as a quote unquote a high value man necessarily. First of all, I would want it to be a man that loves God, that's that understands to have a relationship God first before all things is going to be the thing. I would like that, this guy treats her well and loves her unconditionally. That to me is the best value that I believe that you can get out of a person, essentially. And, once my daughter does start crossing to those thresholds, of course she's going to make mistakes when it comes down to choosing the type of guy, especially in this generation. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Anyway, she's going to make mistakes like we all have, right? When it comes down to it. But I pray that whomever it is, wherever they are, the biggest thing, and I was telling a friend of mine about this over the phone, the biggest thing is as long as a guy ain't trying to put his hands on her, in a way, being abusive to her, both physically and verbally, we can work with that. When I say we, meaning like, can be worked on. So when I think about, the essence of, that quote unquote, the high value man, right? You're thinking about this guy that's most likely, a millionaire, but don't have to be a millionaire, but very, 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 very well to do. Most likely an executive in a C-suite. Around your lady without raising a red flag. A homeboy would play video games, smoke, and chill. A homeboy is a nigga you can ride or die, and the one you sleep with on the low. Homeboys, available in ebook and paperback or wherever books are sold. You know, obviously he has a house, he has a car, he, has, nice house, nice car. It could be a nice apartment too. Don't have to be in that ownership, especially nowadays. But I'm thinking about someone that's a high value man, ambitious, basically has the pick of the litter, as you would, as they would say, and could choose almost any woman that he wants. Okay, this is a prime kind of definition of a high value man. Most likely, he's probably single with no kids, or maybe just one kid. Things of that nature. He's the ultimate bachelor, right? This guy, the high value man. A lot of individuals strive, men strive to be, at least men that are educated and, college educated and things of that nature, strive to be a definition of a high value man to a degree. But unfortunately, most men are not. All right. Let's just be real. Most men are not millionaires or close to it. Most men, especially black men, they're not in the C-suite. Most men, are living paycheck to paycheck. Usually the high value guy, I'm not saying he, money's never an issue, but most likely he's good for 6 months to a year of expenses or better. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't really hurting like that, But most men are everyday, blue collar, type of workers, guys waking up 5 a.m, going to work, maybe bus driver, a janitor, a teacher, just things, an accountant, just things that are basic, you know what I'm saying? Not quote unquote high value in terms of finances and things like that, but high value in terms of their actual values in life, if you would, And so that's why I said I don't necessarily care if my daughter, quote unquote, dates a high value man, because with everything, there's pluses and minuses, right? High value man may be a man that just ain't right for, you as a partner. It ain't right, because first and foremost, this man, like I said, has the pick of the litter, essentially. So, number one, for that high value man to recognize you, you better be something special in their eyes, But in some cases, you don't have to be that. In some cases, it's more a matter of they'll F with you for a night and then move on to the next one, But it seems as, we live in this social media revolution and YouTube and Twitter and, TikTok and all these other venues of information and things like that. You guys are listening and watching right now. What we find is that individuals are taking this high value man thing to the extreme. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Well, I think that a lot of women want this example of this Romeo, right? Of a high value man, while at the same time they are not prepared themselves to be a high value woman. And in some cases, based upon the historical context of their relationships, if they now add on the factor of baby daddies, and now add on the factor of them, working at just, simple location, simple place, they might not be the the high value women, well, they're not, you know what I'm saying, the high value women that they think they are. So what am I trying to say? Okay. What I'm saying is, I think that a lot of this stuff with these, social media, clickbait points of view, a lot of stuff is got people confused. A lot of stuff got people thinking, oh yeah, I deserve that. Oh yeah, that's for me. Oh yeah. Listen, you can deserve whatever it is that you believe in life that you deserve. I ain't gonna take that away from you. But if you've been sleeping around with Tyrones and Pookies most of your life, most likely you're not going to get a Malcolm. Okay? Period. Just period. Like I said, a Malcolm, which may be a high value man, he'll you know what I'm saying? If you're a very pretty woman and things like that, a one-nighter is a one-nighter. But does he see, planting his seed in you and delivering a child for you? Most likely no. Does he see himself writing you into his insurance policy? Most likely no. Does he see himself giving you a stipend each month and say, hey baby, you ain't gotta work. Listen, I got you. Here's your monthly allowance, $2,000. Do whatever it is that you want to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And if you need something else, come back. Most likely no, because you fit the bill for that high value man to sleep with, just like any old Tyrone and Pookie would. But you don't fit the bill of being a type of woman that he looks like, that he's looking at, that he deserves. Okay. And so now we have this cesspool of ideas from different women that just believe that, oh no, I'm the prize. I'm the prize. Yes, you can be a prize to someone, right? But you may not be the prize for him. I mean, it is what it is. And unfortunately, especially a woman that has crossed her 30s and having multiple children, it's not just me saying it. It's just, unfortunately, to a man like that, you've lost your value. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is not as in society as a whole. You're still valuable, right? And we're all valuable unto God because God created us. But what I'm meaning is you've lost your value and luster for a man such as that. Imagine a man that has no kids, a man that is very well to do, a bachelor, lives in a penthouse suite in Miami and has an additional home in New York. Now sees you, a woman that has 3 different baby daddies with 3 different ideologies and all kind of drama. Do you really think that this guy, like the Cinderella story, is going to choose you for long-term stability and equity? Because that's what happens when you marry someone. You marry someone and you put equity into that relationship. Okay, it ain't about love, people, especially when you get to that level of these high value men that these women are after, when so few will get, right? You're talking about dollars, not just love. Love is one aspect, but when it comes down to these billionaire class type of men, these multi-millionaire class type of men, they're looking at, how are you going to add value to my life? How are you going to be my business partner in marriage, essentially? Okay. And if you don't have your head on your shoulders in that regard, it don't matter if you work at McDonald's. That's cool. But if you have ambition, he can see beyond the place of work that you're at. Okay. If you got ambition, if you got, that go-getter type of mentality, it don't matter. You can get a quote unquote high value man. If he sees you as such, like I said. But if you're a woman that's just working, just a regular ass job, you have no sort of ambition, you are a spoiled woman, and what I mean by that is everybody on the block know who you is because you done been to almost every other nigga's doors, and went back out the back door type of shit. But anyway, if you are that type of woman, you know what I'm saying, a spoiled woman, then you already know what the play is. I mean, it is what it is. So once again, you can't expect the unexpected in getting this type of man. Most likely, the man that you're going to be qualified for is going to be what 95% of most men are. And that's just a regular dude. A dude that's the janitor. A dude that's a bus driver. A dude that's a teacher. A dude that's whatever, salesman. And these things are okay. They really are. There is nothing wrong with having a regular dude. What happens is when all these so-called, content creators talk about, this person and that person and this would be better for you. And I'm a content creator too. But what happens is we get into this space of like, yeah, that's the man you want to go after. But in reality, that ain't the man you really want to go after. Because let's start talking about him as well. What's a high value man? Like I said, most likely a millionaire, most likely in the C-suite, or most likely, own a business owner and the business is working for him and he's not working in the business, if you would. But what's this man? This man could be a whole whore into himself, right? Do you want that? Do you want a man that's, that see you on Sunday and then fucking around with somebody else on Monday? Do you want a man that's probably going to spend more time on his business than he would in the business of you and him? Just saying. This is the high value man that we guys loathe about and loathe over, dreamy eyes over, swiping every time for, which most likely he ain't gonna be on the apps that you guys are using. But anyway, I digress. Do you want that type of guy? Like, do you really, want that type of guy that's most likely is, think about it. After the thrill is done of, hey, you got a $2,000 stipends and blah, 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 blah. And you done bought all the Gucci bags. You done bought all the purses. You done bought all of this, all of that. And if he's always constantly out of town, always constantly working, always constantly traveling, and you're barely able to see him, do you really want that? And now, mind you, let's say you were the perfect woman for him. You don't got no baby daddy drama. You were, working and, wherever you're working. A lot of times men don't necessarily care as far as what a woman works. Like I said, the dude, he'll pick you up from Popeyes. If he sees ambition, if he sees you as a go-getter. Main thing, and you don't got to be college educated, right? Main thing he wants to know is, do you have your mind in the right, your head on the right shoulder? You know what I'm saying? But once again, getting back to this dude, this high value guy. Now, I'm not in the category of a high value guy, so let's just get that part out. I'm sure people listening to this like, oh, we never thought that either. So, I would say that I'm more so mid tier. Okay, but anyway, that's for a whole nother discussion. Going back to this high value guy, do you want to have to deal with this facade in the way that you have to now present? You got to go around in Beverly Hills, if that's where he lives, and be around them folks, and them folks look at you a certain way because they feel like you're not supposed to be in certain places that they are in, But that's what a high value man gets you. They get you into them places that other people only can imagine and dream to be in. Wouldn't you love all of that, right? That's what they sell you on. Wouldn't you love to be in those type of places? For a lot of women, they're going to get bored. And if you're not seeing him consistently, he's constantly out of town, he's constantly on the road, he's constantly working, he's constantly here, he's constantly there, you're going to cheat. The law of nature. You got all this, just think about Eric Benet and Holly Berry. You got all this with this high value man. You got a nice place, nice stipend, all that. But you don't have his time. Time is the most valuable asset that any of us can have. And when someone can carve out time for you, that shows how much they care, right? And so when you think about it, the best type of guy is going to be that janitor. It's going to be that bus driver. It's going to be that teacher, because not only are they working equitable professions that are paying them, you know what I'm saying? But professions that are honorable, but also they'll make sure they have time for you at the end of the day, right? Now, of course, go after whatever you feel like you should go after, right? I say that I'm a mid-tier type of guy. And what's a mid-tier type of guy? A mid-tier type of guy is one with ambition, one with a go-getter mentality, one with a, no holds barred type of attitude, one that makes decent financially, but is not nearly making, the type of dollars that a high value individual would make. And a mid-tier individual is right above some of the lower tier, I would say, jobs and things of that nature. But definitely not close to being in the stratosphere of what a high value individual is making financially. But the thing about a mid-tier individual is that you will be able to communicate with that person. You'll be able to have them carve their time out. They'll be able to take care of you financially. You still gonna have a job. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But if, let's say, you had an emergency, you had this, that, and the thing going on, that mid-tier person can, help you out. Things of that nature. When it comes down to it. So a mid-tier individual is definitely not a high-value man. They're not a lower-tiered individual either. Now, mind you, mid-tier doesn't necessarily represent a field of or position. What I mean by that, a person that's a teacher could be mid-tier. A person that's a janitor can be mid-tier. Why? Because just because you're a janitor, janitors make a lot of freaking money, especially depending on where they're freaking cleaning up at. Okay, they can be mid-tier. Right? And then they could be a janitor and they got their own other business on the side, right? You know what I'm saying? So don't think about it in just one direction. But a mid-tier type of individual, as I wrap up this episode, a mid-tier type of individual essentially is a go-getter, right? They understand that life is short, and they want more, but also satisfied with what God has graced them with at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That's a mid-tier type of individual. Anyway, guys, this episode has gone longer than I expected it, but it is quite a topic of that's always catching fire on the internet. Please put your comments down below, like and subscribe. Thank you. Have a blessed day. When I feel lonely, when I'm down and out, I know that the Lord will see me out. When I'm alone and always afraid, He's always there to guide me on my way. When they're cruel to me all the time, now more than ever, it's time for us all to speak up, especially times like this. Speak up for your family. Speak up for your community. Speak up for those who have no voice. Speak up for the world. Speak Up Poetry, an anthology of poems by Michael D. Beckford. Speak Up Poetry by Michael D. Beckford. Available on Gumroad.com. Get both the ebook and the 16-track poetry album on Gumroad.com. Speak Up Poetry by Michael D. Beckford.